What's up everyone, Coach Damien here, coming to y'all with another YouTube video. This is gonna be training vlog number 2. I'm gonna be taking y'all through my new training program that I'm doing, which is another hypertrophy training program. This is week 1. We got an upper body workout today, focusing on some Smith machine bench. We got some T-bar rows, some incline flies, and some cable lateral raises. So, I'm gonna take y'all through it, talk you through how my training and my weight gain journey's been going. So let's get to it. All right, so first exercise that we're gonna be doing today is gonna be the Smith machine bench press. Haven't really done this too consistently in a training block before. Last training block I was doing a lot of bench press, a lot of seated cable flies, so wanted to try something new, see how it feels. So we're gonna do a couple warm-up sets. We're doing 2 working sets in total, 8 to 12 reps. Reps in reserve about 3 to 4. So let's get to it. Warm-up wise, I really just do lighter versions of the exercise itself until I find a weight that I think is gonna be comfortable for me for today. So I'll probably do 2 more warm-up sets and then we'll get into our working sets. So my reps in reserve needs to be 3 to 4. It wasn't, so we're going up. Again, we're gonna do 2 sets, 8 to 12 reps. Take about a 2-minute break between each set. Just came off of about 10-week training program. Same thing, trying to build as much muscle mass as possible. Basically just ramped up my volume every week for 10 weeks straight in some way. A lot of exercise, we're getting to like 5, 6 plus sets. So took a week to deload, went on a little vacation, went to Halloween Horror Nights, had so much fun. And now that I've had time to kind of deload, let my body rest for a little bit, we're starting back with a new training block, different exercises for the most part, and having the volume start very low, but then each week, same thing, just ramping it up until we repeat the process again. So let's do our first set. So yeah, definitely a big thing if you're trying to work on building muscle mass. Obviously volume's important, that's kind of a given, right? The amount of sets, hard working sets that you do is gonna be very important. But a couple other things I found that's also crucial, definitely your tempo. So making sure that on the eccentric part of your exercise on the way down, you're nice and controlled, and then you are explosive, as strong as you can be on the way up from the movement for every single rep. Basically just doing max effort with intensity every single set. The other thing to consider too is your reps in reserve, so like the weight on the bar, right? That set was challenging, but I knew I could definitely do more than 3 or 4 reps, and having that understanding of how intense something is important, because you want to make sure that for hypertrophy training, for most of your sets, you're going kind of close to failure. Not every single set should be like, 0 reps left in the tank, but it's got to be hard, right? So hopefully this gets me a little bit closer. Let's do round 2. So next we're gonna do some incline cable flies. So got a pretty good chest pump on the Smith machine, but now I wanna hit a little bit more of the upper fibers, as well as get a little bit of bicep work. People forget that your biceps do work in shoulder flexion, and my main focus for this block is biceps for the upper body and quads for the lower body. So trying to hit biceps in some way 4 or 5 times a week. So this is a good way to kind of compromise on those two. So let's do a couple warm-up sets. So, same thing, 2 sets on this one. We're gonna do 8 to 15. I noticed for myself personally, I get pretty fatigued on these, especially now that my chest has already been working. So, if I get the weight right, I should hopefully see some kind of a drop off. It is week 1, 2, so I gotta play with the weights a little bit, so it might not happen, but we'll see how it goes. So, first set. Set number 2, big thing with cable flies. I often see it, sometimes people will try and just have the weight really high. You see here, I'm only using like 30, 40 pounds, nothing too crazy. I'm trying to keep my arms as straight as possible. I'm trying to cross them at the top, because remember the chest, while it does work a lot in things like pressing, like bench press, incline press, whatever, it's also responsible for bringing your arms across each other in what we call horizontal adduction. So I'm really emphasizing keeping my arms as straight as I can and crossing them at the top, and I feel it really good in my fibers, specifically my upper fibers, because I have a little bit of an incline going. So let's do set number 2. Been a long time since I've done this, so I'm gonna play around with the weight until it feels right. Okay, you see how much of a stretch I can get? Like if I keep everything nice and tight, where I'm really not getting as much range of motion, I can't go as far. But if I let the shoulder blades relax, I can get a lot more range of motion for that muscle. So yeah, program-wise right now, the goal has been, of course, to constantly gain weight, gain muscle mass. In December of 2021, I was working on building as much mass as possible, putting on some body fat, putting on some muscle mass. So for about 6 months up until about June, July, went up to about 193, 192. Then I trimmed a little bit. I'm now down to about 185, 187. So, you know, better than where I started, where I was like 180 in December. So, gonna kind of repeat that process of bulking up, trim down a little bit, hopefully retain some muscle mass, hopefully the scale stays heavier. So, probably this December again, I'll probably try and do the same thing, get back up maybe to 195, maybe 200, so I feel, and then trim back down. So, see how it goes. Kind of like a seal row, where you're like perpendicular to the ground, but a little bit of an incline. Really focusing on the traps, lats, of course, secondary bicep work. And we're gonna do 2 sets at 8 to 12. Reps in reserve, same thing, 3 to 4 reps. And like I talked about in my videos before, I'm gonna exaggerate my shoulder blades coming apart, kind of almost lay my upper back round, so that way my traps and my rhomboids get some work. It's not all isometric. And then I'm gonna retract, pull, and get a little extension at the top, because your lats actually help with some low back, mid back extension. Final exercise of the day. We're gonna do some single arm cable lateral raises. Really like lateral raises for hitting the medial lateral part of your delt. Get a good stimulus for that. Don't really need a lot of weight for this one. Very humbling exercise. And reason why I'm gonna do a single arm cable is because when you do a dumbbell lateral raise, you can get good range of motion, right, if you have the dumbbells in front. But with a cable, I can even get more with my arm going across my body to the opposite side, because the delt is responsible for bringing the arm to the side with abduction. If I can stop right here, that's good, but I can get even more to let it pull me across. So we're really gonna emphasize that with these lifts. We're gonna do 2 sets, 8 to 15 reps. I like to talk to myself while I work out. Kind of like as if I was training a client. Way to motivate myself, keep myself accountable. This helps me stay dialed in. So I'm gonna lean a little bit away, right, so I create some distance. Arm's just kind of here to help me relax. Arm is straight. Now that's gonna pull to about a little over head height. And that's it. Hope y'all enjoyed training vlog number 2. As always, thank y'all so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I greatly appreciate that. And as always, you can find me on Instagram. I have daily content there Monday through Friday. And as always, if you have any inquiries for training, coaching, whether it's in person or virtual, you can message me directly on Instagram. That's at @the_shift_method, or head to theshiftmethod.org. Click any of those take action buttons, and I'd be happy to work with you. Otherwise, have a great day, y'all.